Hello everyone, today we're going to do a little hardware review of Orba, music instrument by Artiphon. And yeah, basically this is more of a, it's not random, how should I describe this? It's more of a spontaneous format where I don't or cut as less as possible and just try to demonstrate something for you. I will try to demonstrate and describe it in a way that is accessible to everyone. Just the way it's accessible to me. I will try to describe it as best as I can, whilst also providing videos that other people can follow along as well if they want to. So let's dive right into this little instrument, which just looks like a kind of a ball hard shell case thing, in which comes if you actually have this case, because if you just buy it nowadays, it's not coming with a case. I think it's an additional accessory that you have to buy individually. And we will open this right after the intro. Okay, right, so this is, as I said, kind of like a ball kind of thing with flat sides, so they can actually place it and it stays on wherever you put it. And it's got a zipper in the middle, so I will open that. Oh, and then there's a strip where you can, wrap it around your arm or whatever you want to do with it. Open it. And in there, you've got on the one side, you've got a USB-C cable, which I conveniently placed there so that you can charge it from wherever you are. And on the other side, you've got the Orba, which is a tiny little instrument. It fits great into the palm of your hand. And it is basically a ball cut in half. But the lower side, the side that would now be the ball side, the round side, the one that would usually not stay flat on the table, is flat, so they can stick it, drop it into the table and would stay there. It has a little rather round rubber thingy so that it doesn't move if you just drop it. And on the other side, the side that basically got cut in half, that contains 8 pads which are aligned around this round thing. So it's basically a circle with 8 pads, and in the middle there's a button, which is the A button, as Orba calls it, or Artiphon calls it, probably for Artiphon, right? Or the Artiphon button, I don't know, or the action button, if you want to call it like that. The downside, the lower side, that one that goes onto the table, that one holds the speaker, at least it looks like it. Yeah, what else is there? There's a USB-C connector, there's a headphone jack for outputting the signal, there is a volume, 2 volume buttons up and down on the outer side of this thing, and there's an on-off button which you have to hold in order to turn it on and off. You can toggle Bluetooth with it and all those kind of things. So what is this? This is a tiny, well, it's not tiny, it's too big to actually fit into your trouser bags, but it's small enough that you can hold it in one hand. You can't play it with one, you can kind of play it with one hand if you want to. It's a tiny little machine. And you can play it. It's also a MIDI instrument, so you can connect it via Bluetooth to your phone or your PC and use it that way, or you can connect it via USB to whatever source you want or destination, and then can just play on it and it generate MIDI data and you use it and whatever. But it's so tiny that you can really easily take it with you. It's so tiny that actually that you can throw it just into your whatever you're working with, your backpack or your bag or something, and take it with you to wherever you want to go, and then you can just start looping wherever. Let's turn it on, shall we? And here we go. And I assume for every sighted person, you're going to get a few lights now because it's turned on. So this thing is entirely touch, with the only exception being the 3 buttons, up, down for volume and on, off. These are switches, so clicky buttons, although they have a really soft attack, so you can't hear them actually, or barely. But the entire pad system and the A button, this is all touch based. So if I just touch onto this, we get some sounds. Obviously the speaker isn't great, right? So I don't capture this via the headphone jack or something. This is just the plain output from the speaker. Obviously this sounds better if you just plug into a headphone jack or an aux cable or whatever. But this is what you get if you just unbox it, open it up, and yeah, here we go. Okay, this is great, right? So this is what it can do, but that's not all. Like, there are multiple presets, but we'll get to that in a second. So there are 8 pads, and these all generate different sounds. So we've got I think these are the 8, right? Let's try again. Yeah, these are pretty similar. Yeah. Okay, here is the thing. Whenever you tap something and some actually gets recognized, you get a haptic feedback. So this thing starts to vibrate. You can do some more things with it, by the way. You can slap it, the sides basically, or you can clap it, so to speak, which also generates a clap sound, obviously. And you can shake it, but shaking it doesn't do anything special unless you tap the shaker pad, and that's this one. And now, so this is sounds a bit off, but it works. And the great thing is all of that is MIDI. So if you want to do that, I think there's this polyphonic aftertouch. I'm not entirely sure. Could be more weird. It outputs some kind of MIDI data, right? So obviously, this thing is not just made for recording drums. It can do more. Tapping the A button once now. So this is the bass, if I'm not entirely wrong. So as you can hear, it entirely reacts to my finger. So if I hold it on the note, it's going to ring out, but if I take it away, you're going to get short notes, right? So that is sensitive. We not just trigger it, we also detect how long I'm holding the note. That's one thing. We can obviously slide along the pads. That's actually pretty cool. You just need to do it well better than me, actually. So this is the bass, what you can do. We've got more. Tap the A button again, which is in the middle between all the pads, right? We've got this, which is the chords. And here's another nice thing. The more you are in the middle, so closer to the A button, the quieter it gets. And the more you get to the outside, to the outer rim of the device, the louder it gets. And the great thing is, it's polyphonic aftertouch, or whatever it is, so it reacts. You can modulate while playing the notes. So you can just slide your finger forwards and backwards on this thing. And just in case you're hearing this, which I assume you will, I don't know what my neighbors are doing. Anyway, please ignore it if possible. So this is the chords, and there's one more thing. Let's tap A again, which is the lead, obviously. And another great thing, you can hold this for a long note. You can tap it, which will, in this case, still be a long note, because it is what it is, even if you take the finger away. So this special lead does not react to me tapping shortly or longer, but what it does is you can shake while holding. So this is rather funny and interesting. You can generate some really weird things with it. Okay, for everyone who's watching this, they might be wondering, it's actually sensitive to how hard you shake it. So you have to actually wiggle it quite a bit and shake around to actually generate a really intense effect. And you should not let loose, because otherwise you will have a hole in your, I don't know, TV or whatever, in my case. So yeah, that's something. And that is definitely useful. So here's another interesting thing. You can actually play the lead in polyphonic mode, so you can play multiple notes at the same time. So if you are smart enough and well trained enough to do this, it's actually an interesting instrument. Now you can do more with it, because now you think, well, let's see here. That's the scale, right? So let's turn the volume up again. That's the scale. And you only got 8 notes. How are you supposed to play? I don't know, all the notes with it. You are not supposed to do that. It's actually giving you a scale and a key. And the thing is, it might be possible, but I don't know out of my head, if you can change key and scale on the device itself. There is an app which is basically there to make it possible to change things and export MIDI and access various settings on phone and PC, and probably Mac as well. But this thing isn't accessible. So that's the downside of this entire thing. I didn't know before buying it. I bought it back in the day when the Kickstarter campaign was still a thing. Nowadays we've got Orba 2, so I think this one isn't available anymore, but Orba 2 can do more things. However, app doesn't work, so I can't change key and scale, which is why this thing isn't a really important companion for me yet. But it can still be used via MIDI Bluetooth, and this is actually pretty useful because you can use it with Ableton Note, just in case you don't know Ableton Note. It's Ableton for the smartphone platform, so we can get it for Android and for iPhone, and it's really accessible, and you can use it with Bluetooth devices and your MIDI devices connected to your iPhone or Android device, and it works really well. So it works with that. It works with a PC. There's an extension for Reaper, which allows the use of Bluetooth MIDI devices. That works too. And this is still really useful. Now, I said it's a loop machine. Well, how do you loop? You need to find the pads that we want. This is pad 1. And for that to work, we need pad 6. So 8, 7, 6. 6 will start the recording if we use it together with the A button. 5 will start playback if we use it together with the A button. So if we press A and then 5, great, I stopped it. I said I stopped it. Stop. Thank you. So there is a loop already on the device. I will just delete this by switching to 6 and then shaking it, I think. Yeah, that's deleted it. So if you press A button and tap the 6th pad and then shake it, it will immediately delete everything that's on the device right now. So I can start to record this. I will warn you, the BPM is currently really fast. Somewhere on this thing, I can actually tap the tempo. I don't know where exactly this is. Let's just start recording. It will enable metronome, and we can maybe find out where to tap to change BPM. Here we go. 7. So A button, hold the A button with one hand, one finger, whatever, and tap the 7 to tap tempo. Better. Okay, now let's record something, right? Great. It will automatically start to loop at some point. Maybe. Or maybe not. I think the idea is it can hold up to 16 bars, and it will now play the entire 16 bars because I could. Here we go. There's no way to optimize, to quantize or something like that on this thing, so we stay not on the grid if you are not on the grid. Let's see if I can stop it. Yeah, I can. And I can then play it. I don't want the metronome. Okay, here's the great thing I can now change to bass, for example. And I can just start recording and can overdub. I accidentally changed presets. Sorry for that. Ended up on chords instead. That's not me, that's recording, right? Great. Stop. Thank you. So this is basically how it works. You can record, you can overdub on the same preset as well. So I could now add more chords if you wanted to, until I really feel comfortable with it. And if you had the app, then you would always be able to basically render it out. So you could feed it the same preset, take the MIDI data and automatically generate a song from it. There's an entire YouTube channel with a list of songs. There's an entire community behind this thing, or at least there was a community when I initially bought it. This is really actually nice. It's really kind of nice. I pretty much enjoyed it when I bought it. It's really tiny, and you can really take it with you, throw it in your bag or whatever. Really a little device. The only thing is, I don't know how, but it doesn't seem like you can change scaling key now that the app is inaccessible. I don't know. They provided a different app with Orba 2. I don't know if that one is better in terms of accessibility, but Orba 1 isn't. So the device itself is fine because it doesn't even have a display. It's displayless. Everything is meant to work in a way that doesn't require any sight. So it obviously is accessible without sight. I also like that it's quite intuitive. I find it quite intuitive. It's the same way of intuitive that a piano is. So a piano is that intuitive that you immediately know what you need to do in order to generate certain tones, right? Set a child in front of a piano and then we start playing notes until it finds something that either sounds totally crazy because they just love to create some random noise, or they start to create actually something that is, I don't know, melodic, harmonic, some notes that start to sound great together. And that is the kind of intuitivity that Orba has as well. You can just start tapping the pads and it will generate something and you will get into the flow and get the idea of how it works really quickly. However, as with every other instrument as well, it just takes some time to master it. Probably less than a piano, obviously, but yeah, it takes some time. It's not great in that regard. I mean, there most likely isn't an instrument which you can just pick up and then know it immediately. Orba isn't that either. So yeah, but it's a nice present for a child which is musically interested. It's a nice little loop machine. It's a neat little device to have with you if you are a person like me who randomly has ideas for melodies or music or whatever in your head, and you want some kind of way to quickly sketch it out and have something that you will remember, because I don't have perfect pitch or something like that. So with a melody in mind, other people could just write down the notes and then they would be good to go. I cannot do this because I don't know what the notes are that I'm hearing in my head. So I need some kind of way. I'm usually doing this via voice memos. But with this thing, if you know it well enough, you can just pick it up, play it in, take it with you. And at home, you can just read it out and see what you actually played. Another downside is, compared to all the other newer Artiphon instruments, this thing only got one preset. It got one lead, one bass, one chords, and one drum preset. This is a problem. It's not really a problem, but it's different to the other instruments which got more. And the idea with this Artiphon Orba, with the very first instrument of this kind of sorts, is that with the app you can change all of that, but the app isn't accessible. So if you decide to get an Orba 1, because it's out there on eBay or whatever, then keep in mind that you will not be able to change the preset that's on there unless you've got sighted help, in which case you've got a whole load of presets available to you. So yeah, this is a really tiny instrument and I really enjoy using it. So if you do too, here you go. Now you've heard it, or you've heard the crappy speaker, but it's something. I've heard worse speakers. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is my very first hardware review. It will most likely not stay the last one, but please give me any information. Did you like it? Did you enjoy at least something? What could I improve? What did you like? What didn't you like? Please tell me everything you think, because I will try to improve them in the future, and I really want to know everything. So yeah, I'd gladly appreciate if you let me know. Thanks. And until next time, bye-bye.